Absolutely a good tool to treat addiction and its root causes. So I see addiction as a symptom of greater issues in someone's life. For example, trauma, whether it be experiential or multi-generational trauma. And Bufo has the unique ability to express or shine a light or awaken experiences that have been repressed because of the way that it works in the brain, in the body. What I believe is happening is that energetic body, the awareness that we are, leaves the body for a period of time. And working in addiction and trauma treatment, there's a somatic nervous system. The body has kept score or has been impressed by all the experiences. And when the consciousness or the awareness is out of the body responds to healing using sound. Mostly sound is what I work with. The individual awareness experience can be a useful tool psychologically to help them reintegrate past experiences, or let me say recontextualize past experiences, so that hopefully they can, over time, recover. But I don't see it as not either a cure for addiction or even addiction is the problem. Addiction is the indicator that there are underlying problems. No, because again, I don't believe that addiction is something that is cured. Addiction is something that stays as an indication that we're not a whole integrated human being, that our traumas are still driving fears and compulsive behaviors. So whether the addiction is to a substance used to self-medicate or it's a behavior, these are all coping mechanisms, survival mechanisms that are ingrained in us over time. The only way to really be free of those is developing, one, a discharge of trauma so that there's less of a need to cope with anxiety that's coming up through triggers or experiences. And the other is the coping mechanisms or the practices that can help one stay free of intense negative energies, things that drive them to self-medicate through substances or behaviors. So the importance, I guess, starts with the dangers or maybe the negative consequences of taking a powerful entheogen like Bufo, 5-MeO-DMT, and going right back to the culture to which your addiction or the negative mindset that drove you to the medicine. So you open yourself up, you become a much more sensitive, empathetic being, and you go right back into the fire. So that's really dangerous without, one, understanding how your current environment is creating the need for the medicine. So through good integrative practices, knowing what you're going back to, you can avoid doing more damage than good. Now, when I say doing more damage than good, I don't think you can ever unlearn or experience that connection with source energy that this medicine has to offer. So it's always a blessing. But it is difficult to watch. So many people do the medicine, go right back and see very little change in their lives. The memory of that oneness, that non-dual experience fades away. And it's almost, it's sad, but it's a waste of an opportunity for people to truly be free, which requires an inquiry process, a process of practice that hopefully it's a lifetime of change. Well, first the word shaman, right? So there's a lot of aversion to that. I feel like it can be a form of class separation or a mechanism for controlling medicine. The medicine needs to be applied responsibly and ethically, but I do believe that it can be practiced and provided by people that are on the path themselves doing the healing and follow certain ethics and procedures that they can learn from other practitioners. So I guess to answer your question is that it can be applied by people that commit to learning all the pros and cons and use a collective group to better themselves. It's almost like those that know the least and know they know the least have the potential to be the best practitioners. If you're following a ritual and don't understand the roots of that ritual, I believe that it can be problematic. We're an evolving cultural paradigm. So the culture to which that originally came from, it may have served that culture. But even looking at Bufo and its lineage, it doesn't have that lineage. The Sonora Desert is where the Bufo comes from, but to my understanding, 100 years ago or 200 years ago, nobody was using this medicine. So it's up to us to come up with a format that is dynamic and some ethics and a body of evidence that we can build on so that we can offer this medicine in a way that truly honors our own individual culture where we're doing the practice and learning from other cultures. But I do believe that there's an element of cultural sensitivity that is really important in the application of the medicine. So I would say that your first experience is such an important one, because that first experience, done right, done with real care in the right setting, can be such a profound experience. What you do with that, the direction that that takes you, is equally as important. So you may find that after your first experience, there's some release, you've opened up some awarenesses. Staying in touch with someone who has some understanding of the human psyche and the effects of the medicine to help you navigate the new awarenesses that emerge so that you can actually make some decisions on what you want to keep in your life and what you would like to change. Because this is, if nothing else, a vehicle for change in the world. The second or third or fourth time you do it, they're going to be deeper, like layers of an onion, more awareness. The degree to which you honor that this is a vehicle for change and you implement it in your life, you will see that flower in the way that it does, and it will affect your community and your family. And that's what I would like to see out of this medicine, is that the person who does it changes in a way that they have more compassion, more tolerance, love, understanding, and they share that with their community. And that's what I believe this medicine is here to help us do, is to help us become more compassionate. So, but when it comes to using it regularly as a therapeutic medicine, I think it has its limitations. I think that, you know, the awarenesses that it presents, the experience itself is so quick and so broad, and short of shining a light on some of those memories that have been repressed, there's a point where we've uncovered most of all the major memories, then it can be a release of just stress and anxiety and negativity in our life. The problem with that is that we've now found a way to continue putting ourselves under stress and not doing our own practical practice of healing that is sustainable. For example, yoga, breath work, satsang, getting together with community and talking about how you feel. You know, people that have struggled with addiction have the benefit of 12-step programs and rehabs where they go and get to talk and feel about and talk about how they feel. But what about the rest of the world that isn't in that category? They have the same needs. We need to be able to feel comfortable in our body to the degree to which our body says, no, there's a discomfort for a reason. So if what we do is we go and we build up stress and then we go to our practitioner and we release the stress with the medicine, are we actually building up a sustainable practice of self-healing and of management? So I think that it can be a benefit, and it could also be a distraction from doing a more sustainable healing practice that doesn't require ingesting psychedelics or medicines